AEW, All Elite Wrestling, will make its South Florida debut with AEW Dynamite on TNT on Wednesday, January 15th, live from the Watsco Center at the University of Miami in Coral Gables. And helping lead the charge is the Chief Brand Officer, who, by the way, knows a little something about South Florida and the University of Miami. It's 5 minutes plus with pro wrestler, businesswoman, and television personality, Brandi Rhodes. Thank you so much, Brandi. Tell us about your ties to the U.
Oh, well, hey, Jim. Thanks for having me. Yeah, we're very excited about the show coming up in Miami. It's kind of my own old stomping grounds. It's the place that I lived the longest besides my hometown in Detroit where I was born. So it's kind of my absolute home. It's where I started my career in entertainment. That's where I branched out to decide that modeling was going to be a thing. And enough stupid people listened to, or at least thought that I was able to make a career of it on my own for quite a while before getting into the wrestling business. And I spent some time at the University of Miami trying to hone my craft in journalism, which obviously has been helpful to my career in wrestling as well. So it's the beginning of my entertainment career we're coming back to.
And University of Miami, let me make sure I get this right. You got your master's degree in broadcast journalism from the U?
Yes, I was at the U until about 2012, I want to say. Yeah. Very, very cool campus, very beautiful campus. I'm excited for other people who may not have been there before to get there to see it. A lot of our talent it's a real big contrast from going to the University of Michigan, because at that school, you got a lot of weather challenges. I remember walking to school a lot of times in the snow and being like wet up to my knees no matter what shoes I had on, just because we get so much snow in Michigan. And then cut to Miami where it's beautiful and there's palm trees and all the sunshine and you can do your work outside. So it's one of the most beautiful campuses I think that we have in the world.
And the Watsco Center is a very cool facility. And they've had pro wrestling there before. This is going to be really cool having AEW down there for this event. I'm wondering what made you decide to go to the University of Miami?
Well, we have a really, really fantastic market rep. I almost called him Market Rap, but that's his name, Raphael Murphy. And he is just really, his finger is on the pulse as far as what places are going to be suitable for us and our audience. So that was absolutely a RAF call, and we're really excited about it. He's been really great in securing some really appropriate buildings for us.
Yeah, Raphael's worked a long time in the business too, and he's from down here as well, which is really cool. And he knows his way around not only South Florida, he knows his way around the country and points beyond.
Yeah, absolutely. Raphael is an absolute gem when it comes to all of our scheduling and bookings.
Now, Brandi, you were at University of Michigan, and what made you decide, hey, I'm going to go to the University of Miami and get my master's degree there?
I went to Michigan, and I thought I was completely done with school. I've always been interested in a myriad of things, but, I figured once I got through undergrad, that would be it, and I would be, in this top-tier job and just, a news anchor at, LA Market, which is a pipe dream, to say the least. But, I just thought that I would be able to just hit the ground running. And when I moved to Miami, I kind of had the interest in continuing in working in TV journalism, but there was nothing for me there. And I actually took a job as the director of marketing for the Princeton Review, which, if you're not familiar with, they do a lot of the test prep for high schools and college students. And I was just doing some work with some of my clients regarding test prep for grad school. And when I was looking at the GRE, I just thought, I think I can do this. And if I do it, and if I do get a good score, then I'll apply. And I scored very well on GRE, and I decided to go ahead and apply while I was living there. Why not apply to, University of Miami? It's a fantastic school, like I said. So that was just kind of how the fate came together. I just, on a whim, decided, hey, let me just give this a shot.
Did you do any intern work or other work here in South Florida?
I actually taught figure skating in South Florida, which seems so strange because you usually don't think ice skating when you think of Miami. But there actually are some pretty cool ice arenas there. The one that I used to work at is right on Miami Beach. And I think it's called the Scott Watsco Center. I don't know if it's still there. But yeah, I used to teach figure skating out there along with the modeling and, the time that I spent directing marketing for Princeton Review. So I have a really rich history in Miami.
Yeah, it's interesting because even a little further north, Pembroke Pines, and in Coral Springs, which is a little further north, they have some really good ice skating places where there's a lot of talent that's doing figure skating and very competitive, doing things like that. So it's interesting, right? You don't think of it. But also with the Florida Panthers hockey team down here, it's opened the door to hockey and ice skating and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it really is surprising to a lot of people that there's so much skating in such a warm place. But you don't have to be outside skating all the time. You can go inside. That's what the ice arenas are for.
Now, Brandi, when you were in Miami and South Florida, did you have any favorite places to eat or go to hang out?
Oh, my absolute favorite dessert, treat place to go was Buttercream. It's a cupcake shop. And I hope that it's still there because when I worked at Princeton Review, it was actually walking distance from the office. So we would all kind of take turns going. They would have different flavored cupcakes, different days of the week, and we would just go and pick up boxes of these cupcakes. And they're the best cupcakes I've ever had. And I'm kind of a cupcake or cake in general connoisseur. Very picky about my cake. I like it, a particular consistency. I always say I want to be able to taste the egg in it, which is it's almost not cooked all the way. And that's risky because you really do want to cook all those ingredients. You can get very sick eating batter. But for me, the more undercooked it is, the better. And they used to get that recipe just perfect. And then just down the road from them was a really cool smoothie shop called Sun Juice. I'm not sure if they're still there. But that was what we would do to feel healthy after we overindulged in all of these cupcakes. So Sun Juice for smoothies and buttercream for cupcakes.
So you have a sweet tooth, so there must be a lot of workouts going on as well then.
Oh man, I've learned to control and curb it a little bit. A lot of healthy treats that I try to indulge in more so than the actual full of sugar, full of butter stuff. But also another help with that is being on the road. You're just not, readily available to all of that stuff as I would be if I was home all the time. So it's kind of a blessing for me that I'm on the road so much.
Well, it's funny because, Brandi, tell me if I'm accurate on this. You have a swimwear called Confection Swimwear?
I used to many moons ago, yes. I do not still, but I did years ago.
Well, Brandi, the reason why I bring that up is, did you call it Confection Swimwear because you had the sweet tooth?
Probably. I think it was because the suits looked kind of like candy because they were bright colors and, lots of swirling and the fabric. So I think that's why.
Oh, that's good. And then
because I'm a sugar addict.
All right. So last question on this realm, and then we'll move on. Did you ever try the Big Cheese Italian restaurant down near the University of Miami?
No, I never have.
Oh, this is really great. But the Big Cheese is it's just a little place, but it's so cool, but it's really good. But okay, did you get to attend any of the University of Miami football games while you were down there?
No, and I actually only at Michigan did one football game the entire time. I bought season tickets, as a freshman, and they said, and now I'm a big fan of University of Michigan and football, so it's very weird. But I bought season tickets. I went to one game. I couldn't see anything, and so then I just quit. And I never really understood the tailgating aspect and everything either. So odd as it is, I'm just not that big of a football person unless it's something really important that we're watching, like sports, Jaguars. I'm on the Jaguars all the time because they're kind of like family to us now. So
Yes, good plug for that too. Good segue into the Jaguars with AEW. That's cool. Well, that's something because you went from one U of M to another U of M, And you really only went to that one football game up at Michigan, but what an atmosphere up there to go to. Is it the Big House or no? Did I get that wrong? I mean, what an atmosphere, though, to University of Michigan to go up there.
Oh, yeah, no, you got that right, Big House, for sure. And it's always very full. I just had bad seats, I think. I don't know. I should try it again sometime.
Hey, Brandi, are there any sports athletes or actors or TV personalities that you friended while you were working in South Florida or going to school in South Florida?
Oh, man, that's a good question. Actually, no. I was just always about business when it was, different modeling things. I did some projects that had some pretty, familiar faces in them, but I was just there to work, so I never really networked while I was on the job with shoots and video shoots and things like that. But Miami is a very not much different than Atlanta in that it's celebrity filled and prides themselves in the celebrities that they have. So yeah, cool place.
In your dealings with pro wrestling and business and all the other ventures, have you got a chance to talk to the Steiner brothers about the University of Michigan?
I actually did. I did a signing not maybe 2 years ago or so and ran into the Steiners and I had to let them know, like, hey, big fan and another Michigan girl, and they were so sweet about it. So, yes, we have connected in the Michigan bond.
Yes. Go blue. All right, so I want to get a little bit to the figure skating part of it. And, of course, you guys are coming. AEW is coming to Miami January 15th, Watsco Center, University of Miami. It's AEW Dynamite on TNT. What a great show. It's been action-packed. Just so many good talent that's there with AEW right now. I want to get a little bit to the figure skating because you were very competitive. What level did you reach in figure skating?
So I reached the highest level, which is senior. I was a senior ladies freestyle competitor at singles. And it's funny because in figure skating, so much has changed. I don't pay attention anymore, except for when the Olympics roll around. And every time that happens, I'm confused because they've changed the rules so drastically, and for the better, because it's become a sport now where you can't just leave it up to the opinions of others. And that was something that was very similar to wrestling in that a lot of it's opinion. But they've really changed that atmosphere so much in the judging style, and they have a whole points program where you really get around all of that stuff. So it's not so much a sport of opinion anymore. But when I was in it, it absolutely was. So it was always intriguing trying to figure out what the judges wanted to see when they felt like they wanted to see it. So, but yeah, skating was a huge part of my life. Enjoyed myself doing it for 17 years. And then, like I said, I taught figure skating for a good chunk of time. But I finally got rid of my ice skate, which people think is the craziest thing ever. When I tell that to people, especially my friends that are still skaters or still coaching or somewhat involved, they're like, you just threw them away? And I'm like, yeah, because what am I doing with them? Nothing. They're just sitting in a closet. And if I just keep looking at them, they're going to drive me crazy. So I finally got rid of them.
Brandi, did you have Olympic aspirations? And if you did, how close did you get?
I had high hopes. I trained at the Short Skate Club, which is one of the more famous ice arenas in the world, really. Just jam-packed with Olympians and world champions and national champions and just international competitors. And so when you're training with people like that, of course you have the highest of goals and you want to get there, and it's just ultimate motivation. The problem with me in figure skating was I didn't want to let it be my entire life. It's a sacrifice that you have to make in any sport that you're really competitive in, that you have to devote a certain amount of time to it. And I did half days at school when I was in high school to be able to cater to my skating schedule so that I could spend the 8 hours on the ice before and after. And it was just really kind of all-consuming in my life when it came to the decision of whether or not I was going to go to college or I was going to homeschool. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do the homeschool. I really wanted to have the college experience. I really wanted to continue my education in that way, and I really, I was always a very social person, so friends list in half. So I just decided in that moment that we would just be doing it for fun. And of course, it was a little disappointing to coaches and family who really had these aspirations along with me, but it was the best choice for sure.
Well, Brandi, how good of a skater are you today, and can Cody skate?
I don't even want to talk about my skating today because there's really, I haven't been on the ice, I want to say, in probably 5 years. That's probably real. And it's not like riding a bike. You lose it very quickly. I mean, you can lose it in a month off of the ice and really have to work really hard and train to get back to where you were in the previous month. So imagine how far down the deterioration after 5 years of never setting foot on the ice. So I'm probably terrible. I can always skate. I can always just skate, but I probably can't spin. I probably can't jump other than singles. And, I probably would get dizzy spinning, which is crazy because when you're an active figure skater, you never get dizzy. I'm positive I would probably fall down if I tried to do a spin today. Cody, on one hand, he was surprising. I took him skating. That was the last time I actually skated. I took him skating on a ski trip we went on, and he was just really getting after